What's up, everyone? My name's Alex Mooney from Logitech's Video Collaboration Group. Today, we are going to talk about how to create more inclusive meetings using Logitech solutions for Microsoft Teams rooms. We're going to be unveiling a brand new product from Logitech to help take your traditional meeting spaces and turn them into optimized spaces for hybrid meetings. And we're going to be unveiling an opportunity for you to be able to trial these Logitech room solutions in your environment for free. So you're not going to want to miss it. In order to best kind of showcase this technology, what we're going to do is move into this VR tool so that I can walk you through the various Logitech room solutions, the various spaces that they're going to fit in, and ultimately kind of show the devices to you as we move through this virtual office tour. So let's get started.
All right, here we are in VR and we are ready to get started. So you're going to notice that I'm sort of represented here with these controllers and headset. I'm actually wearing these in real life, but this is what you'll be looking for as we move through the session to be able to see what I'm doing and so forth. And you'll also see me kind of point a laser pointer to help call out the various objects and so forth that we're going to be looking at. But let's go ahead and jump into our first room. Now, the first room that we want to look at is, of course, going to be a small room that's already optimized for hybrid. So as we move through these first couple of spaces, I want to highlight that these spaces, we've already custom designed the furniture in order to ensure that they're purposely laid out specifically for this hybrid work experience. So I'll talk a little bit about the design choices we made in each of these rooms, and then we'll also take a look at a couple of more traditional rooms and what we can do to update them. First things first, we've added Tap Scheduler to the wall out here. Tap Scheduler is running Teams panel on the screen, and that's going to signal your room availability with red and green lights, so it's really easy for our users to find their way inside the offices. Additionally, Tap Scheduler is going to provide you with the name of the meeting and so forth here on the screen, or let you book if the room is available for an ad hoc meeting. So this is going to increase confidence in our users already before they walk into the room because they know they're in the right place at the right time. Now, once they actually jump into the meeting room, we're going to want to make sure that they're able to start their meeting. So the device that we've selected in this space is going to be Logitech Tap. So one of the core principles of this design language is going to be around driving consistency of user experience. When you drive consistency, you actually reduce the number of gatekeepers in a room. We've probably all been familiar with a room where you had to press just the right buttons on the remote or something like that. And it only gets worse as each of your room types have different hardware in the room. But by providing your users with a simple, consistent user interface or device to walk up and interact with, you actually increase confidence, so that no matter what room type, your users know exactly what to do. And as the name implies, you see your scheduled meeting here and you just tap to begin. So now that we've started our meeting, we want to take a look at the specific design principles in this room. This is a relatively small room. So what we've done is we've selected a piece of furniture that actually orients our users around this sort of trapezoid shape so that they're all naturally facing the front of room camera. This makes it really easy for the camera to capture everyone's faces. There's nothing blocking the way between the users in the room and the users out of the room. Additionally, onto this piece of furniture, we've added a Rally Bar Mini. Rally Bar Mini has the ability to capture this entire space and provide room-filling sound, both with its speakers and, to capture the sound of all of the users in the room, we have beamforming microphones. Now, Rally Bar Mini is an excellent camera for a number of reasons, one of which, of course, is the fact that it has these dual 4K cameras. Now, this main camera in the center is a 120-degree field of view 4K camera with a mechanical pan and tilt. That means that it can adjust, as you see it here, kind of looking in your direction. It has the ability to adjust the total field of view in order to capture everyone really clearly. That second camera we also use in order to capture a number of pieces of information in the room, like people counting or to power our AI enhancements. Lastly, Rallybar Mini and Rallybar both have CollabOS built in. CollabOS is Logitech's software suite that is designed based on Android and allows us to run the Teams rooms on Android native experience directly on the bar. Now, in this particular room, we wanted to use this front row layout. And at the time that we designed it, front row wasn't available for Android. So the selection that we had to make at that point was to choose a Teams rooms on Windows Compute to pair with our Rallybar Mini in order to drive this experience. So I selected a Lenovo Core. Here I have my Lenovo Core, Teams rooms, Windows Compute, paired up with Rallybar Mini in order to drive this experience. The beauty of these devices is that even though they have Android built in, you can also opt to deploy them with Windows by just adding a single USB cable and you're already off to the races. So we're really excited about that flexibility. Now, additionally, we have selected as our front of room display this Jupiter Pana display. This is really nice, and it provides us with this 21:9 layout that brings the gallery right out onto eye level with the users in the room. I'll go ahead and put some people in the seats so that you can see what I'm talking about. What we want to do is try to capture everyone so that they have a very natural eye gaze directly to the front of room camera and to the gallery. And you'll notice that we've done that here. What that does is it increases the level of connection between the in-room users and the out-of-room users, so they can feel like they're approximating eye contact. We want to place the camera below the display here because we've chosen the Microsoft Teams front row layout, which puts the gallery at the bottom. And in general, you want to put your camera next to the gallery. Now, on the other side of the Rallybar Mini, you're going to want to make sure that the users on the far end are able to look into the room and see something really, really nice. In this case, we've selected to use the Right Sight 2 capability of Rallybar and Rallybar Mini using Grid View. I'll show you a little bit about Grid View here. What Grid View allows you to do is to capture a view of the entire room while also separating each of these users into their own spaces. That way, all the users can be seen side by side, working together. This makes it really sort of natural in this small space to capture everyone really clearly. Now, there's one other component that we want to talk about in this room in order to make the room more equitable. That is, of course, to convert this analog whiteboard into something that's actually optimized for a hybrid meeting. In order to do that, we've added Logitech Scribe. Logitech Scribe is this whiteboard camera sitting above the whiteboard. It's designed for content capture, and it has a field of view that's designed to optimize this experience. It has all of the content enhancements built right in so that it can enhance the content both in resolution and color, capturing everything from drawing strokes to sticky notes, while simultaneously removing the presenter so that you don't have to look through the back of the person in front of the whiteboard. Now, one of the other improvements that we've made to this experience is creating the Logitech Share button for Scribe. Now, what you're going to notice is that within Logitech's design, we really want to create very simple and scalable user experiences. One touch to join your scheduled meeting, one touch to quickly get information about the room, one touch to start sharing your whiteboard content. And so we're really excited to add that capability here. When you're ready to present, you get up, you start writing on the whiteboard, you tap that share button, and it automatically begins sharing the content into the meeting. So that's a small room that's been optimized for hybrid. The technologies we used in this space were, of course, Tap Scheduler on the wall outside. We selected a table that oriented our users all in an arc sort of facing the display in order to optimize that eye gaze and make sure the camera had a clear view of everyone in the seats. We used Logitech Tap as our center of room touch controller to ensure a consistent and simple joining experience. We selected Rallybar Mini with its 120-degree field of view and its room-filling sound in order to ensure that everyone in this space could be heard clearly. We also captured all the video of everyone so that they could all be seen in their very best light. Additionally, we selected this Jupyter Pana display in order to spread the content out and bring the gallery right there to eye level. And we deployed all this with a Teams Rooms on Windows compute by just adding a single USB cable. And then here we've added Logitech Scribe to our whiteboard. So this is an optimized small room ready to go for your users. Let's take a look at another type of enhanced meeting room. In this space, which has been very widely discussed, we have one of Microsoft's designs for an enhanced meeting room. What we've done in this space is we've actually removed the long rectangular table from this larger meeting room, and we've converted it into sort of a mid-size room by placing this steel case ocular table here in the center. What this ocular table does is it arranges the users in this comfortable arc around the front of room display. It also provides a number of other capabilities within this space. First things first, we added a Logitech Tap. Logitech Tap, of course, provides that simple joining experience and makes it really easy. Since this room is so different than some of our other rooms, it's important that our users feel comfortable, that they can just walk in and use the meeting room, and there's nothing complex about it. And that way, in order to do that, we've selected Logitech Tap, and that way they can just walk right in and know exactly what they're needing to do to start their meeting. Now, Tap here is shown on its table mount, keeping those cables nice and secure, but you could also mount that on your riser mount, which just tilts it up at a slight angle to increase visibility at a distance. Additionally, on the table, we've placed a Rally mic pod. Now in this room, because we have this open hallway just behind the display, we've actually opted to move those Rally mic pods out to the table. A Rally Bar Mini could pick up all the sound in this room, but this just also locates the mute button more conveniently for these users sitting at the table as well. So there's a lot of benefit here. Now, the Rally mic pods are going to be a fantastic addition to make sure everyone can be seen and heard in this space, pairing those right up to Rally Bar Mini. Of course, like I said, in this space, we've selected Rally Bar Mini. Rally Bar Mini works in this space because not only does the sound and does the speakers and the microphone sort of fill up this space and capture everyone, but the camera itself with that wide angle field of view is going to be able to see everyone in the space. In fact, I'll bring you over here so that you can actually see the field of view of the camera. If you take a look, all of our users sitting around this arc have a nice clear view of the front of room camera. And actually, if I select my Rally Bar Mini here, I can turn on a view of the field of view of the camera here. And it's green here showing me that it can see everyone in the room. Additionally, what I can do is actually show you the zoom range of Rally Bar Mini. So if we wanted to use an active speaker mode, we could actually bring that up and show you right here on the screen that we can see that active speaker quite well. Excellent. Now, some of the other devices that we could place in a room like this are going to be a collaboration experience. Now, if we wanted to add collaboration to this space, we could certainly do that with an analog whiteboard, or you could opt for an interactive whiteboard. Additionally, using Teams Room features such as Coordinated Join, you could use a Surface Hub in this space to extend the capabilities and add that interactive collaboration right into your enhanced meeting room. So we're really excited about this room type. Now, one thing to consider is that this room type has a lot of both AV considerations and physical space utilization considerations. It can be fairly expensive to convert your meeting rooms into this layout. And it can also be difficult from a scalability standpoint because it drastically reduces the total number of people that can be in any given space. So at Logitech, one of the things that we wanted to do was try to come up with a way to make rooms more equitable, more optimized for these hybrid work environments, but to also acknowledge the realities of the behavior of how people interact in the spaces, as well as the spaces themselves and the needs around furniture and layout and capacity. Let's go over and take a look at some of the considerations that we made. All right, so here we are in front of a couple of more traditional meeting rooms. In this first meeting room we go into, I want to show you a couple of our design considerations of what we came up with to make these spaces a bit more optimized for hybrid. Let's take a look. So here is the first space. Now, I've put a couple of design guides in the room in order to make it easy to visualize all of the users in the space. So in order to try to come up with how to make this more traditional room be a bit more optimized for a hybrid work session, we tried a number of different options. The first of which was to try to optimize the field of view of the camera so that we could ensure that we capture everyone in the space. Let's take a look at the field of view of Rallybar here. Now, Rallybar has a fantastic camera, and it's going to be able to capture everyone in the space. So you can see everybody clearly here. But what you'll notice is that you're looking at the sides of a lot of people's heads. So this isn't always ideal because ultimately what we'd love to do is be able to see everyone's faces. So while this user at the end of the table can be seen really well, the other users around the table cannot be seen all that well. And so the front of room camera alone seems to somewhat miss the mark in these more traditional spaces where we have these rectangular tables. The next consideration that we made was perhaps we could add a couple of cameras to the sides of the room. So here what I've done is added a couple of rally cameras to the sides. Now in this sort of campfire layout, you're actually going to notice that you could do some really cool things with capturing the room. Here I'm actually able to see this user on the side's face quite well, but the problem is that now I can't see this user over here at all because they're blocked by the person sitting between them and the camera. So even though we've moved these cameras to where they perhaps might be able to capture people's face at eye level, they're actually very prone to being blocked by other users in the room. The other consideration was, what if we raise the cameras up higher so that they can't be blocked by other users in the room? Now, this of course could work. However, what happens in practice is that you end up with this sort of top-down view of everyone, kind of showing like almost a security camera type view of the meeting room. And that's not very equitable. So in order to come up with something that's better, that was truly equitable for this meeting room, what we needed to do was try to think fundamentally differently about the perspectives in the meeting room. To show you a little bit about that device that we've created, watch this video. Wow, that's really awesome. So with Logitech Sight, we're actually able to capture a fundamentally different view of the room. And by pairing that with Rallybar or Rallybar Mini, we're able to dynamically select the best perspective of the room and show that to the far end user to create a truly equitable experience inside the meeting room. So here's Logitech Sight sitting on the table. Now Logitech Sight, of course, has that beamforming mic array on the top, which allows us to capture all the audio for all these users in the room. Additionally, because it's sitting in the center of the table with its 315-degree field of view, it's able to capture everyone's faces. By dynamically switching between Rally Bar and Logitech Sight, based on which direction the users are facing, we're able to always show everyone in their best light. And this allows us to ensure that the far end user, it feels engaged, feels a part of the conversation, and ultimately is able to collaborate and contribute to the session. Now at launch, we'll be supporting one Logitech Sight connected to your Rally Bar or Rally Bar Mini. But shortly after launch, we'll be able to daisy chain Logitech Sight so that you can have multiple cameras in a single meeting room. Let's take a look at what that would look like. So here is a meeting room showcasing two Logitech Sight cameras in this large space. We're really excited about this because it's actually a very simple cable connection to connect Logitech Sight together and to the front of the room. We use a simple category cabling to make it incredibly easy to connect Logitech Sight back to Rally Bar or Rally Bar Mini. And with the same category cabling, you'll be able to daisy chain multiple Logitech Sight cameras together. So we're really excited to add this capability to have two Logitech Sights in one room shortly after launch. So it's never been easier to add these equitable meeting experiences into your existing sort of traditional meeting room spaces. And if you want to learn more about camera solutions like these from Logitech, head on over to logitech.com/sight.
Well, thanks so much for spending this time with us. We'd love to help you get your hands on these Logitech solutions that you've learned about today for Microsoft Teams rooms. And in order to do that, we would love to invite you to head on over to logitech.com/Microsoft/trial to apply for our POC program. The Microsoft POC program is a program sponsored by Logitech that provides you with 2 rooms, your choice of small, medium, or large room solutions for Microsoft Teams rooms, free of charge, yours to keep, so that you can help to evaluate your selection. If you're looking to deploy 20 or more rooms, please get in touch with us. Thank you so much for spending this time with us, and we'll see you next time.